Yo, what's up, my peeps? It's your boy Marvin for Food Fidelity, making bread pudding. And you know how I do. It's not going to be some basic ordinary. I'm going to blend some flavors up, try to give you something that's interesting, fun, and hey, just blowing your mind a little bit. I got some crazy good ingredients and flavor combinations, starting with the syrup that I'm going to make up front. It's got spices with different spices like cinnamon, star anise, cloves. And then I got some sweetness to kind of balance things out with the spicy, the piloncillo, which is a Mexican style brand. We'll call it brown sugar. And I got some good, that whiskey, that good stuff. Use whatever brand you want, but hey, it's going to add a little something to it. And then in addition to the syrup, I'm going to make a custard. So I'm going to have the flavor on the inside with the custard, and then that sauce on top that's going to give it that boom, boom, wow that's kind of going on. But once I got all my ingredients kind of like set up, I can really kind of just dive in. I'm using a stale challah bread. You can use brioche or whatever kind of bread you want. I just like mine a little bit stale on the stale side. I'm gonna mix up some heavy cream and some milk along with some melted butter, unsalted of course, plus some plain white sugar, vanilla extract, and then a little bit of cinnamon. I'm going double hit with the cinnamon in the custard as well as in the sauce. Hey, I like my cinnamon. My secret ingredient is that sea salt, smoked sea salt that you saw me hitting it off with. It's gonna add a hint of smokiness in the dish that's subtle, but again, adds a little wow, make this dish just levels up a little bit. So to start to make that bread pudding, bringing it together, I'm just gonna rip apart my bread and stuff it in a pan to basically, I'm gonna marinate the bread, right? So I got that sauce, the beginning of the egg custard mix, mixed up pretty good. And then I'm gonna put that and let it soak overnight. And then I'm ready to start to finish this off, right? So I'm gonna put some eggs together, beat them up a little bit, and then I'm gonna layer the beaten eggs on top of that soaked bread that I put in the refrigerator overnight. And I got the makings of that creaminess and all that flavor that's going to be a part of the bread pudding, right? The interior of the bread pudding. We want it creamy on the inside, nice crispy crust on the outside. So I'm going to try to leave the brown parts of the bread on top and the soaked creamy parts, on the lower side, just to kind of give that effect when I put it in the oven and bake it, right? But I got the eggs mixed in. Now I'm gonna transport everything to a different baking sheet that I've kind of greased up with that unsalted butter. Now I can start to add in the bread pudding, or the bread that's been soaking overnight along with those eggs. And that's what's going to go into oven just like this. So I'm all set to go. I'm gonna bake at about 300, let's say 50 degrees. Make it 375 for about 45 minutes. And while it bakes in the oven, I can start to work on my sauce. I got those spices. I'm using sweet potatoes only for the flavoring. I'm not gonna use the sweet potatoes as an actual ingredient in the dish. So you're not gonna have a sweet potato bread pudding. It's gonna be a sweet potato flavored bread pudding, right? So I got my piloncillo in there. Now I'm gonna start to add those ingredients to cook it down. This is how I'm gonna make my syrup. Right? I need some liquid, the OJ, and the water. So you got a bunch of sweetness sources between the sweet potatoes, the orange juice, and the brown sugar. All that's gonna come together with those spices, and you're gonna get this really kind of decadent topping that's gonna go on top of the bread pudding. So I'm gonna cook this down to a syrup-like consistency. Depending on, what temperature you're cooking at, it can take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. Basically, you want to reduce the liquid down to about 2/3, and then you can strain off all the ingredients, like the spices and the sweet potatoes, and let it rest, and it'll thicken up until like that syrup consistency that you can add to your bread pudding. So it's tart, it's sweet, it's tangy, it's just decadent, and I would say, use the syrup generously, but reserve a little bit for other leftovers or using it like with oatmeal or pancakes. It's just so good. It's that and a bag of chips. Trust me on this, right? That top layer is going to be really golden, but also got that crisp on it. Like, right, you want to cook it long enough to get those crusty edges, crispy top. It just makes for a better eating experience. So you got texture on the outside, and then you got that creaminess on the inside, along with the flavor. That cinnamon's coming through, kind of uniting the dish throughout, and that's it. So if you make this dish, and I know the holidays are here, definitely leave a like or a comment. Most importantly, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button, and you can continue to get updates to your inbox weekly when I post new content. Thanks for vibing with me. Happy holidays to you. Peace out. Thank you.